Hey everyone. Just wanted to have a chat, really, and just put my point across with something that's really been bothering me, let's say. I will tag this as a part of the K's Digs playlist, but it'd be handy for everyone to just listen to what I have to say, because it's important. I want to touch base on the racial tensions that are going on at the moment. Don't shy away because it's a sensitive subject. Don't do that. I think the more people that stand up to racial tensions, the better. Because the problem that we don't necessarily have now is racism. What we do have and what the problem is racial tension. And there's a difference. There is a huge difference. Okay? I'm just going to lay out what I've been seeing. So, and this is on most social media, including notable people that I used to subscribe to on YouTube that I no longer subscribe to. They know who they are. Dicks. Saying not to shop in white shops. Only shop in the black community. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that is trying to tackle racism with racism. It's actually being racist in order to stop racism. It's an oxymoron. And you're a moron if you buy into it. I'm just going to level some of this out, okay? So we've been seeing lots and lots on Twitter, on Facebook and on YouTube about white supremacy and white privilege. You know, and it's absolutely soul destroying at just how many people lack an education. It's soul destroying that people out there still think that white privilege exists to this day. And I'm here to tell you it don't, especially here in the UK. Things might be different in the States, but here in the UK, it don't exist. Because otherwise it would be institutional racism, and that don't exist. And I'm going to tell you why. Because most people have equal opportunity to schools, whether it be public or private. Most people have equal opportunity to banks and financing. Most people have equal opportunity to passports and travel. Most people have equal opportunity to welfare and healthcare. Again, that might be a bit different in the States. But it's true. Public services, and I'm going to say it, including the police, very rarely target, especially in the, like I say, this might be different in the US, but over here in the UK, we've got these riots going on, people saying defund our police and all this, that and the other, and these people get up every morning, sometimes, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, and go to work and do their job for you, the people. You honestly think they're going to want to keep protecting you all? Yes, you get a handful that are corrupt, that are sick in the head. I'm not going to deny that. But you cannot say it's institutional. That is a lie. That is not true. And I'm going to explain why white supremacy is bullshit. Because in the Western world, and this is in the US and the UK, people have never been more tolerant. Yes, you get the odd ones. That goes without saying. There will always be ignorance in every aspect of society. But it is not systematic. The news will have you thinking they're telling you that it is, and it's not. I only just read a post on Twitter saying, from the Archbishop of Canterbury, saying that whites are furious because the Archbishop has said that Jesus doesn't have to be white. That's bullshit. Whites are not furious with that because most people have common sense to know that if Jesus came from Jerusalem, he's more than likely going to be Asian. We weren't the ones in this generation that decided Jesus should be white. We're not the ones that friggin' decided that. And while I'm on this rant, we never owned slaves. Most of you have never been a slave. Not in the way that we're talking. But on the flip side, we're all slaves to a system of corruption. I mean, for crying out loud, we're all still paying income tax and that's illegal. It has been since after World War II. But nobody rose up and stopped it. Nobody protested that. Instead, you're all too busy protesting over a fucking criminal. I'm going to say it, a criminal. The guy held a fucking gun to a pregnant woman's tummy. To a pregnant woman's stomach. He is not a damn martyr. What that cop did to him is unforgivable. But don't make a damn martyr out of him. Not when there are thousands of other cases that do warrant anger and uprising. I think somewhere along the line, through the confusion and delusion of this pandemic, and through all this that's been brewing for the last 2 years, I think some people have just simply lost their damn minds. Do we not bleed the same? Are we responsible for what our ancestors did? And by the way, I'm going to level with you on that one. So let's do a history lesson. Yes, back in the day, we're talking over 100 years ago, by the way. Maybe not 100 years ago. Well, yeah, for slaves, yeah, 100 years ago. Did you know that it was only the elite that could afford slaves? Did you know that black Africans sold their own? Did you know that they still sell their own? We only got images coming out not 3 days ago of women and children tied up with shoddy looking ropes. They looked a mess. And this is from Africa. They looked a mess and they were being sold into the trade market of the Middle East. Did you know that? Words beggar belief with what's going on right now. Words beggar belief. Utter belief. Utter disbelief. I'll have a sip of my coffee. More history lesson. After Lincoln was shot, and by the way, this is a misconception that many have, but if you do your education, if you delve into education on it, you'll learn the truth. Lincoln was a Republican, okay? And to please both sides, because he wanted peace all around, he took a Democrat as his vice president. Lincoln was shot because he wanted to free the slaves. Because he wanted peace. And he was shot for that. And what the Democrats did back then gave the illusion of freedom. And I say illusion because they still practice this to this day. Not what I'm about to say, but they practice the art of illusion and manipulation. So what they did after they had Lincoln shot, they brought in slavery abolishment, but in the exact same bill and laws that they did that, they slipped in peonage. And what peonage was, is that it increased the likelihood of anybody from the black community being arrested. So they could be arrested on any kind of trumped up charges and sent to prison. And once in prison, they were forced into slave labour picking cotton and stuff. That's peonage. That's what the Democrats did. Okay? The KKK was founded by Democrats. Okay? Hillary Clinton spoke about her mentor. I forgot the guy's name, but you can Google it. Hillary Clinton spoke wonderfully about this mentor of hers and how much he helped her and how much she respected him. And oh yeah, we then found out he's still the Grand Wizard of the KKK. Yeah. And she only said this, I think, in 2014, 2015. I shit you not. So then let's bring the news into this. Why is the news lying? Why is the news peddling? Why is the news promoting these organisations that are supposed to help the black community, but in fact are actually doing the black community a disservice because they're creating more racial tension than there was last year? In fact, I'm going to be real specific. They've caused more racial tension this year than in the last 4 years. And what was 4 years ago? 2016 election and Brexit. Are people seeing this yet? Are you guys seeing this yet? The monuments that are being torn down across the United States are reminders. Let me explain. Negative reminders. Auschwitz in Poland. In Wrocław, Poland. Okay? The most notorious concentration camp on the planet. Murdered 6 million Jews. I'm not even kidding when I say the Jews wanted that left there. Do you know why? Like I say, negative reminder. It was to remind people of what did happen. Because if you don't remember, you're doomed to repeat it. And all these monuments that you're trying to take down over there, and that you're hoping for, and that you are advocating for, and that you are supporting, are all monuments tied to your own liberation and freedom. You remove that, you remove the history of where the black community was 100 years ago. But hey, my colour's white and I'm a supremacist. What do I care? In the words of Candace Owens, I'm happy to fall on the sword 1,000 times if that's what it takes to wake you lot up. And I know I've got a lot of followers from the black community that are proud. I'm going to cry in a minute, but some of the nice people that I've ever met. And I feel honoured to have gotten to know them on a personal level. And I've spoken with a couple of you about what's been going on, but I've had more information come through since. And I find it difficult to agree anymore. But know that that is not out of anything other than research. And I feel disappointed and upset that the black community are being treated in this way. Because this isn't... The majority of people, whether they're white or Asian or Indian or whatever, know they're not racist. I know I'm not racist. This stuff doesn't... I've got a thick skin. This stuff doesn't necessarily affect me. Anybody can try and call me racist, and it's utter bullshit. It's water off a duck's back. I don't have to justify myself to anyone. I always say, base people's character on merit and not tarred with the same brush across the board Don't be a fucking idiot about this. Not every white person is a supremacist. Not every white person is privileged. I tell you what, I'm not privileged. In fact, you know, our national broadcasting agency, the BBC, yeah, they actually put out an advertisement for work placements for non-whites only. I shit you not. Non-whites only. So I don't want to hear anybody from the fucking UK saying that there's institutionalized racism here aimed at blacks, because that's a fucking lie. That is a downright, outright lie. Oh, and you know, again, with the police forces over in the US, if you actually go on the FBI website, if you actually look at the statistics, you'll actually find that white cops that murder blacks is actually, it's like something like 0.0007% of the annual total. And it's been that way for nearly 20 years. And the problem that America has right now is black on black murders. And so many people, Candace Owens, a lovely lady, I forgot her name, she spoke on Fox News, she spoke to Sean Hannity, I believe, or was it Tucker? A lot of people from the black community are actually finally coming forward to tell you lot this. To tell you the truth. People who work in law enforcement are trying to tell you the truth. But because the news is overriding it, you're buying into that level of peddling. And you are all being lied to. And if I'm going to do anything right now, I don't want to insult anymore, I don't, because it's irritating me. I don't want to be that person. This is not what I do. I'm urging you all to take this in yourself and to encourage everybody around you in any community that you are in or a part of, that you all bleed the same colour, that white supremacy and white privilege is not the issue, that racism is not the biggest issue, because it's not. There's probably a handful of people in most communities that are racist, but it's not an institutionalised problem. That's what I'm getting at. It's not. I want you all to remember, and by the way, while I'm on the topic, because then I'll probably get a few comments trying to twist my words here, right? If you do find any level of institution that is racist, and you can actually put it down to like this person wasn't given this because of their colour, this person wasn't given that opportunity because of their colour, right? Don't go targeting the opposite race. Go target the institution itself. Go protest that. Don't put a problem on somebody else's shoulders that it's got fuck all to do with. Because I tell you something now, the BBC did that to us, right? But we know that that's a one-off. We are not about to start hating on our fellow brothers and sisters in the black community because of one stupid fucking organisation. Instead, about 250,000 British citizens cancelled their TV licences and has so far cut the BBC's funding in half. That's how you tackle a problem. Take a leaf out of that book and utilise it that way. Go down that path. Don't go hating on your fellow humans that bleed the same colour as you because of something from 100 years ago. Don't go blaming a specific area of society that you may think is racist. Don't go blaming it on the opposite fucking race. It makes no sense because we have no power. We have no control over that because guess what? White privilege and what's it called? White privilege and white supremacy don't exist. We don't have power over that because it don't exist. Do you see what I'm getting at here? Turn off your news, stop listening to it, or take up the fight, pick up the sword, and tackle it head on and call out the fake news. Get on your Facebook, get on your Twitter, on every single post, peddling racism, fake news, call them out for what they're doing because this is exactly what's going on. Sorry, my camera's gone all weird. Call them out for what they're doing. Join me in the fight against it. My fight for the last, 8 months now? Well, in fact, it's been 3 years. My fight for the last 3 years has been to stop the fake news because once you remove the fake news, there's nothing left but the truth. And that's where we need to be headed, okay? I love you all. I respect you all. And I hope that you'll pick up that sword and do what's right. Fight for your communities. Fight for your freedom again, because at the minute we're still all enslaved. Let's do the right thing. Let's rejoin humanity. Let's not rejoin a race and segregation. Let's rejoin humanity. Let's all come together. We're all brothers and sisters. Let's all come together. Let's tackle this head on, and it starts with the fake news.